I really miss TF2. I wish I had the guts to even open it again, but I just can't. Not after that. It all started around 3 days ago. I was there having fun with the Halloween event when suddenly my IRL friend calls me on Steam. He's Brazilian as well. So, this is just a rough translation of our conversation. Hey Leo, my IRL nickname. Are you there? Yep. Why? I I need you to look into something. What exactly? You see, there's something wrong with my TF2. What? Imbo Weps? What? Never mind. Anyways, it's all fucked up. Texture glitches? I don't know what to call it anymore. You have to see it for yourself. Screens? No. I tried uploading some. Just didn't work. Weird. Just do it on your PC. Oh, as long as it doesn't require any DLS. No. Just go to your loadout screen, equip the mackerel, then the bat, then the mackerel again, then the Sandman. Must be some awkward graphical glitch. Wait, I don't have a mackerel. I would give you mine, if I could. I'll see what I can do. Thanks for telling me. Thanks for listening. And sorry for telling you. As I was about to ask him what he meant, he disconnected. That was one hell of a weird conversation, though it wouldn't have been had I gone back in time to warn myself. At the end of the conversation, I was thinking my friend was a major noob that found some fancy graphical glitch and wanted to show me. What was, however, bugging me was the tone of the conversation. You may read it as your average dialogue, but my friend was the kind that almost always type in some smiles. This time there were none. Something seemed off. I decided to try it anyways, so I disconnected, crafted a mackerel, and went to try the glitch. I carefully did the steps. Mackerel, bat, mackerel, Sandman. As I equipped the Sandman, my screen suddenly froze. It was rather unusual, since I was playing on my brand new high-end PC, but I knew TF2 had a tendency to lag, so I just ignored it. That's when an ear-bursting beep came out of my earbuds. It was around 2 a.m., and I pretty much flew out of my chair. That's when TF2 returned to normal, or at least I thought so. The first thing I noticed was that all the loadout slots were gone, and it was just a dark gray background with 2 gray buttons below it. All the text was gone. Then I noticed the scout was looking at me. It had eyes and no pupils. There was no gun on his hands. I remember having these sorts of glitches when I used my DX 8.1, so it was no big surprise. I clicked the button. I guessed that was back. The class loadout select screen was glitched, just like the previous one. All the icons below the classes were gone, and all the class icons were upside down. They also wouldn't zoom in as you moused over them. As usual, I pressed escape, since the close button wasn't there. And what came up was what finally alerted me this was not another graphical glitch. The title screen was the boldest title screen I'd ever seen. It was just a black screen with the words Team Fortress 2 written in white at the top of the screen. It wasn't written in TF2's theme font, but rather Times New Roman, like it was rushed out of something. Below, there were 3 options: play, options, and quit. As it was kind of late and I had to sleep, I decided just to just jumped to play. As the server browser opened, my subconscious was already starting to realize what I was getting into. Suddenly, I felt a fear I thought I would never feel, irrational or not. I was shocked when it could only find one single player server. When I when it only when I was shocked when it only could find one single server. Minutes ago, I found over 2,000 servers. So, how could it find only one now? I checked the filter and they were all turned off. Turning any of them on would make the server disappear from the list. What creeped me out the most were the details of this single server. The name of the server was just Team Fortress, so I instantly suspected that it was a listen server. The game tab was empty. The player count was 1 out of 14. The map was just Manor. It was written like that, not CP_Manor_event, just Manor. And the ping was 10. That's what I call a ping, I whispered to myself. I kept staring at the player count for around 30 seconds, trying to figure out what someone was doing there. Lonely, on a remote server, isolated from the player base? I reluctantly entered the server. The loading bar was just a long white stripe with no text. It connected. I wasn't greeted by the usual Blackboard welcoming screen. Instead, it just went straight to the class selection screen. I had just crafted the Horseman's Head Taker, and I really wanted to try it out. So, I instinctively chose Demo. I spawned as a blue demo, but in the middle of the map, I also had no weapon. I checked out the score. My name was the only one there. There was no one in red, neither in spec. Wasn't there supposed to be someone here? I opened up the server browser again, and now the player count was 2 to 14. The name of the server suddenly switched to Get Out. I got freaked out by that one. But it kept going. Before even moving from the odd place I spawned, I typed, "Who are you?" I got no answer. I just supposed he didn't speak English and casually walked out. That's when my demo suddenly burst into flames. At first, I thought he was just a lone pyro, but that's when, with the scream of agony I'd never heard from any demo man before, he blew up. At this point, I was scared to death, so I quickly disconnected. The server browser automatically opened a few moments after my scare quit. This time, the name of the server was just Come Back. I Want You. I decided to step up and go in again, now prepared for anything. As it connected for the second time, I just skipped everything upon fully connecting. Spawned as a demo, with no weapon again. The location, however, was different. I spawned over the gap around the third CP, instantly falling to death. As I waited to respawn, the camera went to a fairly odd-looking place I had never seen before. All I could see was a large white stripe with a red and blue stripe next to it, one on each side. The place I respawned was at the bottom of the well for me. It was dark. It was a dark, disturbing room with a single locker on the right of the exit. I had already played quite a few matches on the map, but I didn't remember ever seeing such a room. When I walked out, all I could see was a bright white, like what you see when you walk out of bounds on some maps. After roaming around the vast white desert for a while, something appeared on the chat box. You were good to go. It had no player name behind, but it couldn't be a mod or plugin. I was already losing my sanity. Nothing of it was all that creepy, but just so off. It was creeping the hell out of me. Right after the message came up, I saw a steel gate in the distance. I walked all the way up to it and quickly got in. I didn't even think twice. I just wanted to get over with this mindfuck. What I saw when I walked in scarred my mind so deeply that is that it's like that it's like ever like I ever like I walked what I saw when I walked in scarred my mind so deeply that it's like I see it every time I dare think of the words Team Fortress 2. All of the classes from both teams hung up, their mangled faces looking at me, and some of their limbs missing. Between the two teams was a large white stripe with similar red and blue stripes on the sides, matching their respective teams, forming a hallway. So that's that's what I saw while respawning. That's where the camera was still in the first person's perspective as the demo man. Every time I looked at the hang demo, the screen would start to get grainy, and an image would start to slowly fading into my screen until I looked away. It changed each time I looked, but as far as I could tell, there were mangled bodies. As the image fully formed for the fourth time, it covered up the entire screen and kept staring at me for around 5 seconds. After that, it abruptly disappeared. And when I looked at the hallway again, all the bodies had disappeared. Then it froze again, and I could see the only one last message on the chat box before I lost connection. Why? After disconnecting, I checked the server browser for one last time. The server had just vanished. TF2, if I can call it that, then closed itself. I opened up Steam and saw there was a new update for TF2. It was simply called Fixed. I knew what that meant, but still found it unsettling. I wasn't able to sleep at night, so I just spent the night playing I wasn't able to sleep at night, so I just spent the night playing other games. Anything but FPSs. Next morning, I asked my friend what the fuck was that. He said that he hadn't logged on to Steam for about a week. Since then, I haven't played TF2. I was unsure about what to do, so I decided to note this down and post it on TF2's SPUF just to spread the word. I can't sleep. I'm not eating or drinking well. I can't step out of my apartment. Whatever that was, it's haunting me. I see it in the corners of my eyes, inside my PC, at the street outside my building. It's there, I'm sure.